By now, it's no secret that Russia has been using a shadow fleet of illicit ships to dodge sanctions and sell oil. These vessels, often rusty, old tankers, became the lifeline of Putin's war machine, quietly pumping billions into Moscow's budget despite Western restrictions. But Ukraine has just revealed something far darker. Russia's shadow fleet isn't just about oil anymore. It's become a weapon of war. Let's rewind for a moment. After the invasion of Ukraine, sanctions cut deep into Russia's fossil fuel trade. Oil and gas once made up over a third of Russia's budget, bringing in almost $500 million per day at its peak in 2021. The West hoped to choke off that cash flow. Instead, mysterious tankers began showing up, switching off their trackers, disguising ownership, and transferring oil mid-sea. By 2024, nearly 60% of Russia's Baltic crude was leaving on these shadow vessels. Everyone knew the game. The shadow fleet kept the Kremlin rich. But now comes the shocking twist. On September 28th, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky announced intelligence showing Russia is using these tankers to launch and operate drones used against European countries. In other words, Putin has turned the shadow fleet into a floating military force. And the evidence is piling up. In recent weeks, Russian drones have been spotted crossing into multiple NATO countries. Poland alone reported at least 19 drones entering its airspace in early September, calling it an act of aggression. Lithuania, Romania, Denmark, Norway, France, Germany, Latvia, and Estonia have all had similar encounters. These drones aren't just mistakes drifting off course. They're deliberate probes, launched from the sea. The message from Moscow is chilling. Russia can strike anywhere in Europe, not just Ukraine. But because these drones are launched from anonymous ships sailing under false flags, Putin maintains plausible deniability. He can attack without admitting it while daring NATO to respond. That's what makes the shadow fleet so dangerous. It sits in a legal gray zone, difficult to sanction, impossible to fully police, and too risky for NATO to strike without triggering escalation. It's the perfect weapon for hybrid warfare. So what's next? Ukraine is calling for tougher sanctions and joint air defense shields across Europe. The EU has already sanctioned hundreds of shadow fleet ships, but sanctions alone may not stop them. Ukraine has begun striking oil ports and even shadow fleet tankers directly with drones, while NATO debates how far it's willing to go. What's clear is that the shadow fleet is no longer just an economic loophole. It's a weaponized threat, one that Europe can't afford to ignore.